So when you're being pulled over where a police officer suspects you of driving while under the influence of alcohol, or DUI, an OUI in Massachusetts, what are your rights? So the first thing is you have to stop. You absolutely do need to stop if a police officer is pulling you over. And you do need to give them their license and registration. However, you're under no obligation to essentially make any admissions about how much you had to drink. You're also not required to do any so-called field sobriety tests. In Massachusetts, we have several that a police officer is likely going to ask you to do. We have something called the HGN test, which is following the pen, as most people may remember. There's other tests such as the one-legged stand and the 9-step walking turn. And you're not required to complete any of these tests if you don't want to do so. The other thing that you're not required to do is that you don't need to perform a roadside breathalyzer. That looks like a handheld breathalyzer. You've probably seen one online, and there's a little straw that comes out of it. You do not need to take that breathalyzer. And not taking that breathalyzer does not lead to a license suspension. Now, the breathalyzer at back of the police station is a different story. If you refuse that breathalyzer, it would lead to a license suspension. But once again, you're not required to essentially take that breathalyzer. It's your right not choose not to. And a lot of times, taking that breathalyzer is the strongest piece of evidence against you, and it may make sense for you not to take that breathalyzer. So know your rights before you get stopped, but the best thing to do is always drive safe and never drive while under the influence of anything.